stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, commissioners, we have the agenda before us this evening. Are there any questions or changes by fellow commissioners? There's none, staff. With no changes, is there a recommendation to approve the agenda as presented this evening?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion for approval from Commissioner Barry, seconded by Commissioner Richardson, I believe. Any discussion on the motion of the second? You know, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it is approved. We have one set of minutes. It's from our November 19th, 2025 public hearing business meeting. I'm sorry.
2 sets, don't we? The ICIP workshop.
Oh, okay, I was looking at the agenda. Okay. Yeah, let me just have them here. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mike. Okay, I apologize for that. We actually have 3 sets of minutes. We have one set of minutes from the November 18th, 2025 ICIP workshop. We have a set of minutes from the November 19th public hearing business meeting. And we have one set of minutes from our special meeting on November 24th, 2025. So with those 3 sets of minutes, I could take action on them individually, or we could take action on them as a group of 3. If there's any recommendation by the commission, if anybody has any questions on the minutes, we'll take them individually.
Mr. Chair,
please.
Since I wasn't here on the ICIP workshop meeting, I'd like to take them individually, I guess.
Okay, that'll be fine. Okay, first set of minutes then will be for the November 18th, 2025 ICIP workshop. Are there any questions or changes to those sets of minutes by fellow commissioners? There be none. Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Name.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. They stand approved. Next set of minutes that we'll look at would be our public hearing business meeting for November 19th, 2025. Are there any changes to those minutes by fellow commissioners? Be none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Those are approved. Last set of minutes would be our special meeting, and that was November 24th, 2025. And is there any changes to those minutes? Be none. Recommendation, please.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Those are approved also. Thank you, Mike, for catching that. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our public comment part of the agenda this evening. We have one person would like to speak to us, Eric Sorensen. And if you'll just state your name for the record, please, when you approach the podium.
Eric Sorensen, Los Lunas, New Mexico. After 2 months of phone calls, face-to-face meetings, and coming before this body, I'm glad to report that the flushable water in the front bathroom is now running cold. I don't know if any of you had anything to do with it, but if you did, I thank you, as do the taxpayers of Valencia County. All I have to say.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Well, Mr. Sorensen, you kind of stole my thunder there, but that's all right.
Okay. All righty. Discussion non-action items. Commissioners, is there anything you wish to bring to the table this evening?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
this goes out to the staff and the manager's office. It seems like they're always doing a great job. It's, you know, every event that they have for the public, it seems like the public always has a great time. They set up great stuff. We had food trucks for the Christmas tree lighting. Everybody seemed to have a good time. They did an amazing job, you know, giving socks and pajamas out. And then, you know, we have our ICIP. They bring in the legislators for projects we need. And it just seems like the staff keeps getting better and better. And I'd just like to say to the manager and his staff, thank you.
Yes, they did a great job. Thank you for recognizing them. Anything else, commissioners? Staff? Okay. Let's see. We do have Employee of the Month, Mr. Montoya.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. We actually had 2 employees for you tonight for November and December. But the fire chief has kind of kept it a secret, so I'm just going to call up Chief Prop and let him take it from here.
Perfect.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman. The 2 employees of the month, this month I had to trick. I knew they wouldn't show up voluntarily if it was announced beforehand. So it'll be Assistant Chief Jamie Gonzalez and Captain Antoinette Walmsley. So just to highlight kind of the reason why, I'll start with Chief Gonzalez. As you know, we went through that big ISO evaluation. We brought ourselves up to an ISO 3, which was a huge achievement for the department. What a lot of people didn't see was the work that went into the background, all the filing, the report chasing, the pinning people down to make sure that we got answers and people got to where they needed to be, that we had every record, you know, available and ready to present to ISO. Jamie's actually the one that was really instrumental in getting that done. So that's why I think she deserves that. Captain Walmsley is our training captain. Since she's come on board, we've really increased our training platform for the department. Gotten our people, you know, focused on professional development. We're now hosting classes. We actually just finished one this week, right? We're in the process of one this week for the state. So she's done an exceptional job as well, getting the department trained up and getting not only our name out there, but our name out there to the whole state. So appreciate her as well. I knew you wouldn't come up with we weren't doing this, so thank you.
Well, guys, I just want to thank you for all you do. I think everybody that's in public safety deserves to be Employee of the Month every month. You guys just really go over and above to do what you need to do for our community, for our county. And just thank you so much. I know we're approaching the holidays and it becomes a time of really relying on you guys. And you guys take away from your personal time, your family time to be taking care of the residents of Valencia County, both fire and law enforcement. So again, thank you guys so very, very much for what you do, and I'll leave it up to the rest of the commission if they wish to have make some comments.
Thank you and congratulations.
Okay.
They did have some small speeches prepared, so I'll let them stand up here.
Okay. I think that's it.
All righty, Mr. Chair, thank you. And yes, those two ladies are wonderful. The entire fire service, public safety, like you said, is just, they go above and beyond. They see things that most of us most definitely don't want to see on a daily basis, and they attack their jobs daily, fiercely, and with confidence, and we've built really good teams all around in public safety, and we just thank each and every one of you all. You most definitely, like the chairman said, can be employees of the month every month because of the hard work that you do. But yeah, we just have amazing employees here, and you're going to get to see some more of that coming up. We've been having some pretty popular topics come up with these departmental updates, and it just so happens that this is kind of the public safety update. So I'd like to bring up the sheriff's office first. They're going to give us an update of what they've handled throughout the year. They're not going to give us a full complete year to year or end year review because there's still a few days left this year, but they're going to give us for the most part what they've got so far. So. I'm sorry. That's all right.
I'm just going to go ahead and read through this because there is a lot of important information, although I gave it to you guys so you can look through it and your downtime. Dear Honorable Commissioners, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office presents this 2025 year-end report to provide the Board of Commissioners with a concise overview of operational activity, crime trends, staffing developments, investigative efforts, community engagement, and resource management throughout the year. In 2025, deputies responded to nearly 16,000 calls for service, continued addressing increases in service demand, and carried out significant enforcement actions across patrol, narcotics, and investigative divisions. The agency advanced key modernization efforts, including training technology, fleet upgrades, and the expansion of specialized capabilities while strengthening partnerships with residents through community events and outreach. BCSO also secured more than $585,000 in external grant funding, enabling major equipment and training enhancements without additional cost to the county's general fund. Throughout the year, the Sheriff's Office remained focused on public safety, accountability, and effective service delivery. This report summarizes those efforts and provides commissioners with a clear picture of agency performance, accomplishments, and operational challenges encountered in 2025. For the patrol activity overview, like mentioned, in 2025, BCSO deputies responded to 15,936 calls for service. Deputies completed 5,526 reports, made 1,187 arrests, and conducted 7,627 traffic stops, contributing to improved roadway safety and enhanced enforcement presence. Major crime categories include burglaries of 157, stolen vehicles 150, larceny 255, assault and battery 334, domestic violence 461, 2 homicides. Deputies also handled 465 crashes, 8 crash fatalities, 82 DWIs, and 242 mental health evaluation calls, underscoring the broad range of responsibilities placed on patrol staff. During the reporting period, the Sheriff's Office experienced an increase in calls and interactions involving individuals experiencing mental health challenges. In response, the agency implemented proactive strategies to improve outcomes for both the community and responding personnel. Training related to mental health awareness and response was expanded, including instruction on use of force considerations when interacting with individuals affected by mental health conditions. The Sheriff's Office also strengthened partnerships with community-based service providers to offer individuals and their family alternatives to law enforcement intervention when appropriate. These partnerships are intended to connect individuals with supportive resources and reduce the need for repeated law enforcement responses. Notably, the Sheriff's Office partnered with Bloom Haven and Southwest Family to support juveniles and New Mexico Solutions for adults experiencing mental health issues. Through these collaborations, the agency seeks to provide families with access to appropriate services and long-term support while enhancing overall community safety. On to our hiring and staffing. In 2025, the Sheriff's Office continued its hiring process to maintain staffing to meet increased service demands, which included hiring 7 new deputies, 3 court security officers, and 1 civilian record staff member. Additionally, the Sheriff's Office has used funding for hiring with bonuses and hiring referrals to attract personnel. Moving on to transportation services. The Courts Division provided the following transport services for the year: 374 total adult transports, 14 total juvenile transports. These transports ensured safe and efficient movement of individuals between detention facilities, court hearings, and medical or evaluation appointments. Next is our Narcotics Division activity. The Narcotics Division conducted extensive drug enforcement operations, reporting 95 arrests, 26 search warrants served, 5 stolen vehicles recovered, approximately 940 grams of narcotics were seized, plus 28 grams obtained through CI operations, estimated street value of $35,000. These efforts significantly disrupted illegal drug activity and enhanced public safety. And on a side note, that enforcement of drug activity was probably within the last 3-4 months, so it hasn't really been the full year, and that's quite a substantial amount for these individuals to have already obtained within that time frame. Onto our Criminal Investigations Division. They handled a wide variety of major investigations, including 99 assists to other agencies, 21 child abuse cases, 37 criminal sexual penetration contact cases involving minors, 6 adult sexual assault cases, 2 homicide investigations, 1 human trafficking case, additional cases involving arson, fraud, stalking, larceny, and missing persons. CID's efforts remain essential for addressing the county's most serious and sensitive crimes. Moving on to property and evidence. During 2025, the Property and Evidence Unit received 1,908 new items, bringing the total count of items in the evidence room to 17,282 items. Of these items brought in during 2025, 150 were firearms and 112 were controlled substances, reflecting the significant volume of evidentiary material managed in support of criminal investigations and prosecutions. During the reported period, the Sheriff's Office received funding of approximately $1.4 million to construct a new evidence storage facility, with construction beginning in early 2025. The project is now largely complete. An occupancy permit has been issued, and the agency has begun transitioning operations into the new building. Full occupancy and the complete transfer of evidence are anticipated in the near term. In addition to expanded and secure evidence storage, the new facility includes 2 dedicated office spaces and a training room. The additional offices address long-standing space limitations within the Sheriff's Office and improve the efficiency of daily operations. The training room is designed to accommodate advanced training needs, including permanent setup of the agency's virtual reality simulator, which previously lacked a dedicated space. This facility enhancement represents a significant investment in operational capacity, evidence integrity, and personnel training. Moving on to our SORNA compliance. At the close of 2025, Valencia County maintained 135 registered sex offenders, with 8 arrest warrants issued for registration violations. Importantly, all 8 offenders with warrants for registration violations were located and arrested. This reflects diligent tracking, monitoring, and enforcement by VCSO personnel to ensure compliance with state registration requirements and ensuring community safety. On to our use of force year in review. During 2025, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office documented 26 use of force reports, Considering deputies responding to 15,936 calls for service during the year, use of force incidents remained infrequent and well below 1% of total calls, reflecting a continued emphasis on de-escalation, officer training, and proportional response. Types of force used were overwhelmingly low-level control-based techniques consistent with policy and training standards. All use of force incidents are documented, reviewed, and evaluated in accordance with agency policy to ensure accountability, policy compliance, and continued improvement. Supervisory review and ongoing training remain central to maintaining public trust and ensuring appropriate use of force. Overall, 2025 use of force data demonstrates that VCSO deputies exercised restraint, relied primarily on de-escalation and control techniques, and used force only when necessary to safely resolve incidents, reinforcing the agency's commitment to professional constitutional policing. Moving on to our equipment, fleet, and training enhancements. During 2025, the Sheriff's Office continued advancing training capabilities and fleet modernization. We integrated a second VR training simulator, expanding the system to a 2-officer interactive environment used for annual use of force training. Conducted simulation force on force traffic stop training for the first time, acquired 10 new patrol units, improving reliability and operational readiness, continued work to secure a full equipped drone unit with a 35-inch monitor and charging system. On to our community engagement and events. VCSO personnel actively participated in community building and recruitment events, including the CNM Career Fair, Metro Public Safety Day, Michael Padilla's Job Fair, Senator Michael Padilla's Job Fair, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, the Fall Festival, the 4th Annual Valencia County Public Safety Day Fire Truck Pool, which raised over $20,000 for public safety efforts. These engagements strengthen relationships, visibility, and trust throughout the county. Moving on to our grant funding secured in 2025, the Sheriff's Office received the $585,500 in grants supporting equipment, enforcement operations, and technical advancement. The DEAC JAG grant, $33,000, which was used for SWAT robot, it's partial funding. SHCAP grant, $70,000, primarily SWAT robot funding. District Attorney's overtime project was $32,506.45, which is used for arrest warrant operations. Legislation funding, $190,000 to furnish and equip the SO training room. Also legislative funding, $240,000 to purchase and equip vehicles for SO. BGA Edward Byrne grant, $15,000, which helped with the laptop updates. These grants allowed substantial capability improvements with no direct financial burden on the county's general fund. In conclusion, as VCSO enters 2026, the agency remains committed to strengthening public safety through strategic staffing, expanded training capabilities, and continued modernization of equipment and technology. Priorities for the coming year include increasing patrol staffing to meet rising service demands, fully deployed enhanced training systems, including the expanded VR simulator and drone unit, and advancing investigative capability to address complex cases involving narcotics, violent crime, and crimes against children. The Sheriff's Office will continue to pursue grant opportunities to minimize financial impact on the county while expanding operational readiness. Ongoing community engagement and transparency will remain central to building trust and fostering partnerships with residents, business, and local organizations. By leveraging the progress made in 2025 and working collaboratively with county leadership, BCSO strives to deliver even higher levels of service and safety to the residents of Valencia County in the year ahead. The 2025 operational year reflects the commitment, professionalism, and hard work of the Valencia County Sheriff's Office. Our deputies and staff demonstrated exceptional dedication in meeting rising service demands, enhancing public safety, and strengthening community partnerships. We look forward to continued progress and collaboration with the Board of Commissioners as we strive to provide the highest level of service to the residents of Valencia County. Respectfully submitted by the Valencia County Sheriff's Office. Any questions?
Commissioners, any questions, comments? Just want to thank you and your team for a detailed report. It's been a busy year, and like you said, it's not over yet. But we again, appreciate everything that you guys do, your staff. It's just, a daily thank you, and just know that the commission really supports and appreciates all that you do throughout the year.
Do you have anything?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank the sheriff and undersheriff for their professionalism in that office. Many of you can remember not too long ago that we were the department where we trained folks to go elsewhere. Now folks seek us out to have a career and stay here in Valencia County. So, our office is, remind me, Sheriff, are we the only accredited sheriff's department in the state, or there's 3? Yeah, we were the first accredited office, and they've kept that up, and that's quite a task. There's many metrics to complete on a yearly basis to make sure we accomplish that feat, and since they've gotten it, they haven't lost it, and that lowers our insurance premiums, and just makes all around a better office for us. So hats off to the sheriff and undersheriff as well. Next, I'd like to bring up Fire Administration and Chief Prop. He's got some special stuff going on in this presentation.
Good evening again, Chair and Commission. When I try to get through this, my voice is a little raspy. I'm finishing up with probably one of the 5 different viruses going around this year. So we're doing a couple of things tonight. We'll present our annual report here in just a few minutes, but we're lucky to come into the time of year where we've had a lot of our new members that are coming off probation. And one of our traditions when we do that is to officially pin them and have them read the oath of office. We thought this would be a really cool opportunity to be able to do that in front of you all and have you participate as well. So I think we have 12 total, 10 are present. Is that correct? Yes. Their family members are here. They'll be pinning their badge on them. Like I've got an updated oath, if you don't mind. I'll get it signed. I'm gonna bring it up to you right now. So I'm going to bring Assistant Chief Gonzalez up again and Commander Rael. They're going to read off the names and our members. If when your name is called, if you want to come up, Commander Rael has your badge, and if you have a family member, friend, whoever you have here that wants to put the badge on you, we'll pass it off. If anybody does not have somebody present, I'm happy to put the badge on you, proud of all of you. So we'll get started.
All right, first up, David Flores. I don't know where you need to go. Samuel Hawkes. You want to move? Mia Langler. James Byers. Matthew Gonzalez. Thomas Parker. Molly Holiday. Miss Belding. Zaid Servin. Or BC Lopez is back there. Metzley or Nealis. Jordan Carpenter. Don't be nervous. And last, Jennifer Garcia, but she was unable to be here this evening as she has a sick kid.
So if you all face Clerk Milam here is gonna read the oath to you, or you're gonna come up here, okay. And we're all firefighters, so when he says, "I state your name," it's actually your name. It's not state your name, so. I would bring that up because we've run into that issue a few times in the past, so.
All right. As the chief said, I'm gonna start off with it, and I'm gonna say I, and then everybody state their name, and then you're gonna repeat after me. After I stop, okay? So make sure we're all on the same page. All right, everybody raise your right hand. I. State your name. Do hereby declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the state of New Mexico, that I will obey the laws and the ordinance of the County of Valencia, that as a firefighter of Valencia County Fire Department, my fundamental duty is to serve the people. I swear to protect, to safeguard and preserve life, health and property against fire and other parallels, and to maintain a proficiency in the fire services. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust. And I accept, as long as I'm true to the ethics of the fire service, and make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Congratulations, everybody.
If you guys will remain standing whenever you're done, I think the commission would like to personally congratulate you. We'll wait for the pinning to take place and you can just stay up there for just a few minutes, please.
I got one other thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have your certificates available tomorrow and with your names on it. I'm gonna need your signatures and then I'll have them notarized, okay? Thank you.
Commissioners, we're gonna come around and ask them Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
And everybody that was just pinned, if you could just stay back. Commissioners, if you'll stand, I'll take a picture of you behind them. Wonderful. See if we can make this work. Yep, got it all. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
One thing I always like to do when we have these ceremonies is for all of our members that were just badged tonight, take an opportunity and just say thank you to your families for the sacrifice they make.
Absolutely.
The schedule is hard, the job is hard, but your families is important as you in this job. So make sure you thank them. All right. Well, apparently my department reports doesn't have the same draw as the sheriff's department. So, just to go through some of the stuff in the annual report, there's some data that we're still waiting on from our dispatch center that they were working on. We were hoping to have that by the time that this report was presented, but they weren't able to get everything tabulated. So as soon as I receive that updated data, I will send it to Manager Ergon. He can send it out to everybody. But so 2025 for our department was actually a really good year. We had a lot of big achievements this year. Obviously, we had a lot of big incidents that garnished a lot of attention, but the department as a whole is definitely standing out as one of the top departments in the state, and we're very proud of that. Some of the big achievements, as of April 2026, so 5 months from now, every one of our first out fleet units will have been replaced and will all be 3 years or newer. So if you talk to any fire department in the state, that's kind of unheard of to have a whole fleet, your front out fleet that's, basically brand new. There's a lot of reasons for that. We were lucky. We received a lot of grant money over the last few years that have made us successful in these purchases. We've been very successful in our legislative appropriations. Other grants that we've received, even some private funding that helped, and not private, but like business funding that helped us achieve some goals. And then on top of that, our New Mexico Fire Fund maintaining and keeping a high loan level through NMFA has made us very successful. So like I said, the entire fleet, that's our engines, that's our rescues, our tenders, our brush trucks, and our whole command staff. Everybody's in newer units, which means that we're providing the best, most efficient service to the residents and the travelers of the county. 3-4 years ago, if you would have asked, we had plenty of trucks that were breaking down on the way to calls. We had ambulances that were breaking down on the side of the highway. We were calling other agencies to help take patients to the hospital because our equipment just didn't work. We are now the department that people are reaching out to for help. And I know I'm very proud of that. I know our team is very proud of that. And if you ask the other agencies in the county, I think that they would, say, yes, we've stepped up to be that, really that representing department that everybody can count on when they need it. We are currently at full staff. And I think an important point to note is we've only lost a few people over the few years. And we haven't lost anybody to another fire department with the exception of one. We had one person that went to Los Alamos. He was actually already in their process when we had first hired him. This was a couple of years ago. Everybody else has either moved out of state or has had a personal issue that's taken them away from the fire department. Where I feel that that's valuable is it shows that the department itself, what we're bringing to the community, the culture of the firefighters that we have is good. People want to be here, they're staying here. Our recruitment numbers are good. When we're doing testing, we're seeing good numbers. In fact, we're even hearing from firefighters that work currently in other agencies across the state asking if we have vacancies, because a lot of them live in this community and they work for Santa Fe, Los Alamos, Las Cruces. And what they're saying is, hey, the department is kind of what I've been looking for now. And I'd love to be able to stay in my own community versus, traveling 2 hours away to some of these other departments. So I think we're doing the right thing. The community's seeing it, and the fire service in the state is seeing it as well. As a part of our contract with our IAFF union, we send 1 firefighter per year to paramedic school. We have firefighter Toscano starts at CNM's paramedic program in January. What that does is it increases our service delivery countywide. We're providing advanced life support in most of our districts, which means that we're the standout service as far as emergency medical services. We are by far the highest provider in the county, including the municipalities. And they've recognized that. We have a unit called Medic 3. It's a fly car. It's a Tahoe with one of our paramedics in it. That unit gets requested by Los Lunas, by Belen, by Real Communities, Peralta, Bosque Farms, even into some of the areas a little further north, just to say, hey, we need help. We know you have this paramedic that's available. Can you help us? And it doesn't take a unit that we have in service from a station, but it allows us to provide that service and really help everybody in the community as a whole. So that's been a goal that we've been trying to reach since day one, is to make sure that we're providing advanced life support throughout the county. 4 of our stations have received renovation, remodel, ensuring crews that they have comfortable station housing. We've invested close to $3 million at this point in reno and rehab. And honestly, all of that has been grant funding. So we've been very lucky. The grant programs see what we're doing in the county. They see what we're building. When we go to them, we say, hey, we need money. They understand what our vision is. I've been told that by the chairman of the Fire Grant Council a number of times. Hey, we're watching, we're seeing what you're doing. And when you're asking for things, we know what your vision is. So it's easy for us to award it because we're behind it. If you look, there's a few pictures on the next page. That's some pictures from our Tomei station and our Jarala station. If you'd never been in those stations prior to these pictures, I couldn't even convince you of what they used to look like. The Station 2 Tomei was the original grocery store in Tomei. It was all adobe, concrete floor, cracks, spider webs. You could see open rafters in the roof area. And we never occupied the front part of that building. We occupied a small staff area in the back that was an addition. And it just seemed like a lot of wasted space. So we received a grant. We did a big renovation in there. We're staffing 2 units from that station now. And now the crews can be there comfortably. It's efficient. And we have a good response model out of that station. Jarales is the second one. That's that third picture. It used to be basically balsa wood paneling in the building with a concrete floor that actually still had the stripes for where the trucks parked. Just someplace you would not want to be. You could see through the walls. I was actually in there one day and a lizard crawled through the wall and jumped on me. So we knew at that time we needed to make something happen. So received a grant. We did a full renovation in that station as well. Our intent and our strategic plan is to staff that station somewhere down the line. And the station is ready for staffing based on that remodel. As you remember, we consolidated districts about 2 years ago, and that was in anticipation of our ISO evaluation. As you know, we we succeeded probably even a little better than I expected in our ISO evaluation, brought the county up to an ISO 3, which is pretty remarkable looking at where we've come from to where we're at currently. I've been fortunate enough to talk to business owners around the county who have said like, hey, I'm already feeling the impact of this ISO increase. My insurance rates are better. We were talking with some people from Los Lunas actually who were saying, yeah, there's businesses interested in coming in that hadn't considered it before, particularly like in that San Clemente area, because prior to this, there wasn't an ISO rating out there. It was an ISO 10, which if you're a business owner, you don't take a shot on that. Now we're an ISO 3 in that area as well. So we match Los Lunas' ISO rating even in that region of the county. So from the economic development standpoint, I'm proud of that because I think it's going to bring businesses into our area, maybe because that option wasn't there before. And, that can be a big driver for how we grow in the county. Currently, we're staffing 4 stations 24/7. So that's our Meadow Lake station, our El Cerro station, our Tomei station, and our Los Chavez station. So we're running staffed crews out of those stations 24/7, 365. Our response times in those areas are actually meeting national standard with the exception of our Los Chavez station because they cover a bigger area. But we're meeting or exceeding our 8-minute response times to most calls. So 3 years ago, our average response time was in the 40-minute range. Our response times now are about the 6 to 8-minute range. With that, we've seen remarkable success, not only in our structure fire responses. We've had a lot of saves this year, not only in property, but in residence. We've had crews that have arrived on scene. I'll cite one in Meadow Lake. They were on scene in 3 minutes. I was told to them that there was a resident in the house. They went inside the house, got the resident out. Within 4 minutes of that call, we had units on scene effecting a rescue and putting a fire out, which that matches big city standard. And that's what we're providing to the community here. So we're definitely proud of that. The other big one that we're proud of is our cardiac arrest responses. A metric we look for is called return of spontaneous circulation, or ROSC. That means we get to a patient who has no heart rate, no pulse, they're not breathing, they're in cardiac arrest. And by the time we're finished working, we have a pulse back, we have the patient on the way to the hospital. And on top of that, we also track outcome. So just because we were able to start somebody's heart doesn't mean that we necessarily saved them. We may get them to the hospital to, do organ donation or give family time to say goodbye. The one that we really track, or I really track as the chief, is who leaves the hospital who still has quality of life, who's still back in the community, who wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the response of our crews. And we've had 5 of those this year, people who have left the hospital and are living a quality of life in our community. That's, to me, that's what we've been shooting for. That's why we're here. So our crews do a fantastic job day in, day out. They take the job seriously. They're always looking for extra training. We're very good at kind of listening to, hey, what is it that you're wanting to do? They're always up to date on the newest kind of research and equipment. And so we bring them in on that vision. Okay, how can we get you there? They do a lot of the research. We go out, we'll find the funding sources. We'll bring the equipment to them. If you look at our EMS equipment, our cardiac monitors, things like that, we actually have some of the best equipment in the state. That includes our metro area right to the north of us. We have the newest cardiac monitors. We have the newest patient loading systems in our trucks, which reduces injury. That's a big one for us. So we're setting the standard as an agency that's not only staying with the game, but stepping past it. We're keeping ahead of the trend. We're listening to how do we get better? And we're taking that, investing in it, and we're becoming better. Talking about community engagement, the department's an avid participant in the Special Olympics in New Mexico, particularly the New Mexico Special Olympics Law Enforcement Torch Run. We're very lucky to partner with the Sheriff's Department here for that event. As a lot of you have seen and been to, we host the Valencia County Public Safety Day and Fire Truck Pull, which has now become one of the biggest events for Special Olympics, one of the biggest fundraisers, one of the biggest attendance events. So that's here. That's us, saying we're making the investment. We're proud to do this. And our people are going out there putting in the work, and these events are very successful because of our employees. So county as a whole, we've got a great group of people. They're always willing to step up. Anytime we say, hey, we're doing an event, they're ready to go. I mean, you see it with the tree lighting, you see it with our Halloween stuff. Like, the employees are always ready to go. So we also do community education programs at the schools. We work a lot in conjunction with the New Mexico State Fire Marshal's office. And that's the same thing. We kind of look at, hey, what's the latest trends, latest data? What is the best way to connect to kids when we're preparing information? So the State Fire Marshal's office has a program. We were one of the first in the state to trial that program. They reached out to us and said, hey, do you guys want to try this out? We said, absolutely. So we've been trialing that in some of the schools, and we're looking at a much bigger rollout coming up this next school year. Like a lot of the departments, we assist families during the holidays with food drives. We did a large food drive for Thanksgiving. We were able to connect with a number of families and get them taken care of. We have 3 of our members, I believe, right now. They're becoming certified in car seat installation, which doesn't sound like it's a big deal until you realize that 80% of people that put their car seats in do it wrong. They're actually not installed the proper way to manufacture specifications. So our folks are getting that certification. The goal is, once they're fully certified, we'll start rolling out those car seat clinics here in the county. And we partner with a company that provides car seats as well. So we have community members that can't afford car seats. Not only are we going to install and make sure they're done the right way, but we're going to provide the car seat. So that's a really big one. Our members are going through training in the Albuquerque area. They have to do so many installations before they're certified. So they're on track to get done with that by, I think, about spring. So that'll be a really cool resource for the county as well. Kind of talking with that relationship with the State Fire Marshal's office, they reached out to us. One of the things this department is really good at is bringing water to fires. Obviously, we don't have a lot of hydrants in our area, so our crews have become very proficient in what we call tender shuttles. A lot of agencies have recognized that. We get requested in Bernalillo County, Albuquerque, a lot of areas around us for that skill. And the State Fire Marshal said, hey, we want to make a video based on how you guys do this to send out to all the agencies who are going up for ISO evaluation, so they can see, hey, if you're going to do it right, do it the Valencia County way. Funny, I was talking to the San Juan County chief a few weeks ago, and he said, yeah, we're doing some training. All I kept hearing was the Valencia County way, the Valencia County way, the Valencia County way. And I said, well, how'd it work? And he goes, I don't even want to tell you. I said, well, tell me. He goes, the Valencia County way works. Like, we shaved a lot of time. We were more efficient in how we did things. He said, obviously I'm giving you a hard time, but what you guys are doing works, and we're kind of amending what we do based on that. So thought that was pretty cool as well. 2025, obviously we had some major incidents in the county, starting with the rear ground fire. That was April 17th in BOCC Farms. We had units assigned to that fire for, our initial units were assigned for about 2 days. Our wildland resources were assigned for about a week. We had members in that incident management group throughout the event, not only at the local level, but the state level as well. Move forward to June 18th, and we had the Kid Fire. That was the first of a series of fires kind of around the Main Street Bridge. Moving into June 21st, we had the Cotton One Fire. Really big event that a lot of agencies kind of plan for, but I don't think you can ever really prepare for. I think that response highlighted, how prepared our county is for those kind of responses. you know, we lost properties, but we lost properties intentionally. And I know that sounds bad, but when we say that, we're saying, hey, the risk is not worth the benefit for this area right here. We need to move past it to stop this moving forward. And we did that. It was hard. We had to make decisions on writing off some houses, but because of that, we were able to engage the fire. We're able to get air resources, and we're able to really reduce what could have been a really catastrophic event. Moving into day 2, as the Cotton 2 started, we were lucky that those resources that we had already brought in based on relationships were already in our county. Cotton 2 moved to the north, threatened the Peralta area, Los Lunas, and a lot of the county. Again, strategy got us in there quick. We were able to engage the fire. We were able to use the resources that we were already committed the day before. And we actually had no major losses on day 2. And we really could have had a lot of damage done, but everybody who was on scene, our strategies, our engagement worked the way it was supposed to, and a lot of property was saved in those 2 fires. So, you know, I hand it to our crews, to the other crews in the county, you know, the municipalities, not just the fire crews too. You know, it's every, I mean, I think we had employees from everywhere in the county participating somehow in these fires. So, you know, the saying, it takes a village. I mean, it really did. It took everybody to really make this work. And I think the community could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. And I think our people stepped in, did a fantastic job. There's a few pictures from the Cotton Fire on the next page there. Agency assistance. Our wildland team responded to several incidents last year in the county, in the state, and nationwide. Our team is a nationally deployed team, a nationally recognized team, and actually a nationally sought after team. So they'll get requests from Alabama, Oregon, California, saying, hey, like, we liked your guys when they were out here. Are they available to come back out? And we'll send our crews. Obviously, when we send our crews out of state, we prioritize what our response looks like locally. Captain Barr and the wildland team do a really good job of saying, hey, this is what we feel comfortable cutting loose from the county and ensuring that we still have a very strong response if we need it. So we deployed specialty apparatus around the state. We have a 4x4 fire engine that went to Ruidoso to help with the flooding, just to run 911 calls because their trucks couldn't get through the streets with the flooding. So that truck went down there and ended up reimbursing quite a bit of money for the county. But more importantly, we provided that resource for the community. What we noticed is flooding doesn't just occur in Ruidoso. We deal with it here too. That I-25 corridor, we get those floods that come through. We have a lot of out of service time from our units, particularly at the Los Chavez station. They'll get out to motor vehicle accidents on the freeway, and our battalions will say, hey, like, it's not safe to leave the freeway open. We have this huge amount of water coming through. We end up blocking the freeway with our fire engines. Kind of looking at the flooding events in the state, we just invested in a high water rescue vehicle that was delivered last week. It's preparing to go in for decal radios and a couple of things, and then the plan is to bring it down and present it so you can all see it. But our goal is to pre-deploy that to incidents around the state as we see weather coming in. So whether that's San Miguel County, Ruidoso, even here in our local area. State Office of Homeland Security has already said, hey, we're going to prioritize that resource because there just isn't one in the state. Army National Guard is typically who deploys, but they're on a 48-hour window before they can deploy to an event. We can be there the night before waiting with the truck. So this is a huge tool, not only for us, but for the whole state of New Mexico. Our VCFD peer support team deployed to incidents across New Mexico to assist agencies with critical incidents. We have a specialty trained team that focuses in behavioral health, critical incident stress management, all the way down to just basic peer support. So we've had agencies that, I mean, they've gone as far as Deming, they've gone to Ruidoso, they've gone to the metro area to assist with things. So they're very proactive around the state. in helping in any way that they can. And we hear a lot of good things about them. We've also donated a lot of critical pieces of equipment to agencies in the state who lost apparatus during fire or flood events. Roswell is a good example. They came to us, manager and I had talked to their fire chief, and I said, hey, we literally don't have a fire engine in this station right now. We have one on order. It's 2 years away. We obviously can't wait 2 years to respond to calls, and Roswell's obviously a pretty busy department. So we were able to step up. We located an engine that we were taking out of service because it had some issues that we didn't want to invest in anymore. They were willing to put that money into it, and because of that, we were able to partner with Roswell and get a truck onto their street to help the residents. So when I say that we're becoming that department in the state, like that's what we're doing. Like our name is out there as a reliable and trusted agency. And people are looking at the things we're doing. Our EMS program, as you know, we hire some EMS folks that are not firefighters. They staff the rescues. 4 other agencies in the state have started using that model based on what we've done. They came to us looking at how we're working it, and now they've kind of taken that on. Las Cruces, Doña Ana County, Roswell, the metro area is even kind of like hinting at it, but we're going to try to keep them at bay as long as we can. So. Professional development, our crews have just been really good at, kind of exceeding training requirements. We obviously have basic training requirements for our firefighters. Our folks are hungry. They're always looking for more training. We support that. We'll send them to just about anything they want to go to. So when I say that we've got really good trained people, we've got really good trained people. And a lot of it is because they seek it out. They're going after it. We're supporting it. And then they're bringing it back here and not only using it in our community, but they're teaching the other members of the department, so that it's not they just go out and learn something, they're teaching the whole department as well. So when we send somebody, we're making an investment into the whole department. We have quite a few members that are either have just completed degrees or about to complete degrees. We've put a strong emphasis on professional development, continued education. We're proud of them when they, start getting these degrees. These are going to be the next leaders of the department. So I'm always proud to see that drive from them, and they're going out and getting it. Call statistics. This is the one we were waiting on some bigger numbers, but kind of where we're at right now. As of today, we're sitting at like right at 6,000 responses, which for a department of our size is pretty busy. We're running 6,000 responses out of 4 stations. So the crews put in a lot of work. With that, not only are they running the calls, they're doing their required training, they're doing their required physical fitness. They're getting out in the community and doing community engagement. They're making sure the trucks are up and running. So, that I always tease. Jeff's not here, but we have the joke about the recliners. These crews don't get to see the recliners that much. If you go by the stations, 9 times out of 10, they're up and working. And if they're not working, they're on a call. So they're busy, but they're proud of what they do, which makes me extremely proud because you can see that work ethic in every call that they go on. I get compliments weekly from people in the community. If you follow our social media, you'll see what that community engagement looks like. I mean, we have a few people, as every department does, that make some off the wall comments. Take that with a grain of salt, but if you look at the tempo from the community, they're really supportive of what your fire department does. So that again shows the investment that you've all made in building this department has been the right investment. Kind of a stat that I thought was interesting. Most fire departments average about 87% EMS. We're running about 79% EMS. So our fire department's running more fire calls than a lot of the other fire agencies. So we could actually, we should use that as a recruiting tool because firefighters want to be firefighters, but we see more fire than a lot of our competing agencies. So that stat kind of stood out to me. It's one that we're going to keep track of, but obviously we still run a lot of EMS calls. 2% were just other, those were hazardous materials calls, service calls, or things like that. So I think that's about all I had. And then I've open for questions if there's anything I can answer.
Commissioners, any questions?
Mr. Chair. So on the new floodwater vehicle, is that going to be kind of like the brush where you guys can actually charge for it if it's going to go out?
Commissioner, yes, it's a reimbursable expense, not only at the local level, but at the federal level. So to give you some context, when Texas had that flooding event earlier in the year, they'd made a request for 400 of those vehicles. They were only able to fulfill 75 of them. So the state of New Mexico, currently there's only 3. It's ours. Roswell has one, but Roswell's is a dedicated resource to its city. The municipal league actually bought one for them because they kept driving fire engines into the floods to save people, and sheriff's deputies was the deputies would go in to save the people, then the fire truck would go in to save the deputy and the people, and they're flooding all these vehicles. So municipal league, I thought this was interesting, was actually the one that purchased theirs, but as a result, it's not a deployable resource for them. It has to stay in their city. Ours is the first one that's a deployable response, and when we bring it, you're going to see why it's unique. It's got a fabricated stairway system in the back of it that a lot of these vehicles don't have. So it's going to be probably a pretty sought after unit in that period of like monsoon season, particularly in that early flooding in the wildfire prone areas.
So on top of that, and I apologize, I'm kind of ignorant at this, but is this something that we might have to get a semi to haul it? Because I don't think you want to be driving that thing down like a road. Is it something that if we're going to be running it for statewide, is it something that we need to look at like transports, or are you just going to like contract it out?
And Commissioner, that's been a conversation we're starting to have right now. We actually have 2 of our folks going through CDL training right now. The conversation, obviously, I'd like to have some conversations with Lena. We don't want to put their people in a tough spot or take equipment out, but there are programs to get like the low boys and the tractors from like DRMO. That may be an option if we're going pretty far. The unit we purchased, we specifically geared at highway gears. So in a state response, I think we're comfortable driving it in state. If we were to take it to an event out of state, we would most likely contract it and reimburse that as part of our reimbursement cost.
Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
on that I guess it was in September there, we had that flooding on the interstate. Do we know what caused that? I mean, that seems like the kind of thing that the interstate shouldn't flood.
Commissioner, we tend to see that general area of the interstate have one of those events at least every season where it's not necessarily the water that comes through, it's that like silt and sand that it's bringing down. But I'd say we probably do that a few times a year in that same general area of I-25, the southern area down there. As far as cause, I mean, I could speculate on 100 things, but I mean, it's obvious that there's not a good catch or an embankment system to hold it as it's coming off of like the Mesa area.
Okay. I know I-25 is maintained, that's NMDOT. Have you spoken with them any about anything they can do?
As far as the like remediation or mitigation to prevent it,
Right.
all we've heard is a lot. What they're seeing is that it starts on private property. So what we've been told is, hey, of course we'll come out and we'll scrape the freeway and we'll even do like a little, drop embankment off the side of the shoulder with some dirt. But as far as the mitigation itself, it seems to be that the focus is on private property.
Anything else, commissioners? Chief, thank you so much. Very detailed report, and it was really nice to bring you firefighters in for the pinning of their badges. And again, thank you for all you do, and just keep up the good work. You make
Appreciate
the
it.
county look really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, Mr. Chair, and to finish out these discussions, we still have one more department, Corrections Detention Center, but he is not here this evening, so he's gonna do it first meeting of the year next year. So and he should have a really good report as well. But sad that I lost the crowd, I guess. But I'm gonna give my manager's update real quick. It's been a wonderful year. First year as your manager. Thank you guys for the trust you put in me over the past year. I too am going to read my report because my head's about to float away with my sinuses being funky, but significant progress has been made over multiple initiatives that support county operations, our community services and risk management, and most definitely the long-term infrastructure planning. A major accomplishment, one of the first accomplishments of this year, was advancing the remodel of the district attorney's office. That effort required extensive coordination with the contractors and staff to ensure that those remodel designs aligned with the operational needs for the DA. And then also, with our fire admin building, we've just kind of been put to us this year. With the flooding that happened over there, we were able to acquire a property just down the road very quickly and get them moved in. They're just about moved into that new building. So I would assume when Chief shows you his new high clearance truck, he'd want to show you his office as well. I toured it the other day. It's a wonderful building. A major achievement this year, one that I'm very proud of, it was securing federal funding to support the hospital project. During a visit to Washington, D.C., many of us went, but on the final day, Commissioner Bazell and I stayed back and met with Senator Heinrich and many folks from his team. And we actually advocated for critical healthcare infrastructure. As you know, our hospital's being built and we're expecting shortfalls within that. So we had discussions with him. We've invited him to come out and see the progress of the hospital, which will happen early next year. But we spoke to him about that particular shortfall, and we were able to, through continually talking to his office throughout the year and just, keeping on top of it, we were able to receive a $1 million appropriation to that funding. So that complemented our state level efforts and further secured the future of our healthcare in our county. It improved our state partnerships, or improving our state partnerships was instrumental in helping with that funding as well. And we secured an additional $8.5 million in state appropriations for the hospital project. It was still under what we needed, but those were major numbers for what most counties expect within a year. So, and most definitely from the federal level. So those were major achievements for our team to gain those monies. And then that paired well with the multiple grants that strengthened county services, infrastructure, emergency preparedness, like the chief was saying. Grants has carried this county for several years, and we've been able to do a lot with the grants we've sought out. Throughout this year, my office also has managed and oversaw several high-level and complex claims on behalf of the county. This work required close coordination with legal counsel, insurers, law enforcement, leadership, and risk management partners to protect the county's interests, all while ensuring responsible, transparent, and timely claims administration. And in support of that effort, I continue my service on the New Mexico County's Insurance Authority Board, which contributed to statewide policy discussions, claims oversight, and best practices in risk management. And hopefully that directly benefited Valencia County, but it also benefited many counties within the state, keeping those claims low as possible. We're kind of in a settlement mentality here. So we work as hard as we can to keep those settlements low. Locally, partnerships were strengthened to better serve our residents this year. My office collaborated with VCAN and Public Works to establish regular food distribution at the El Cerro Community Center, helping address food insecurity throughout our communities. And at the same time, alongside with Mr. Montoya, our HR director, negotiations with all of our county unions were completed at a record pace, maintaining strong labor relations and supporting continuity of essential services. I didn't have HR or finance come give you department updates because those are the two offices I work with probably closest. So I figured I'd speak on their behalf. As far as finance goes, we've had some audit findings in the past few years that are just kind of pesky and continually coming up. So what the director did in her office this year was contracted with RCI. It's a group that completes inventory of every item with a value of $500 or higher. What they'll do is they'll provide a software with every item captured, and that will enable finance to track assets closely. And we have finance has dedicated a full-time position to maintain the capital assets moving forward, so that hopefully will stop that audit finding, which has kind of been our last one of the last pesky ones. Finance has also created a new standard operating procedure for electronically routing incoming invoices for approval that speeds up the process for accounts payable and provides a paper trail for research. And then also now, finance offers electronic payments of invoices to vendors, which speeds up the payment to the vendor and provides a far more secure option against check fraud. Not everybody wants to jump onto that train, but we're trying to get as many folks onto it as possible. It gets them paid a lot quickly, a lot faster, and they're not hitting us up for their checks that may get stuck in the mail or what have you. This year has also marked a successful transition into our new county .gov domain. What that does is it provides better security for our email services for our county as a whole. We're protected by a federal service to help with security as far as IT stuff goes. And also what that'll help is the launch of our redesigned website, which should be coming in the beginning of the year. And that'll greatly improve the accessibility, transparency, and online services for the public. As Chief spoke earlier, given the severe flooding and wildfire events that happened within Valencia County, we held numerous emergency response meetings to ensure resources were deployed efficiently, and the staff and partner agencies coordinated quickly. That included late nights and weekends. I called Lachelle, my office administrator, our IT director, Tessa Mast, on the weekends, nights when those fires were happening, and saying, hey, we're going to have to pull together a special meeting quickly. We need an agenda started. We need a meeting. We need a Zoom meeting started, and everybody collaborated and got those things done very quickly. It was wonderful to see that they, on their time off, they were cared about their county enough to get those meetings started for us. Progress continues on securing property in San Clemente for a future fire station. Although we have an ISO rating of 3 there, we do not have a fire station in San Clemente. The closest is going to be either Fire Admin or Los Chavez, and then Highland Meadows. Very big gap in between. We're partnering with some folks in the rail pump to acquire property, and we actually already have the building on the ground. Once we finish that property situation, we will have a fire station in San Clemente as well to better that ISO rating in the coming years. Regional collaboration has been another highlight, including coordinating a multi-county equipment rodeo with Cibola County, McKinley, and Catron County. This event enhanced training, safety, and operational readiness for Public Works. And that's for Public Works here in Valencia County and teams across our region. And as everybody has spoke so highly about our community events, the Fall Fest, Easter egg hunt, Christmas tree lighting, those were major successes and obviously reflected the strong community engagement and collaboration. I mean, that Fall Fest, that was our first year putting it on, and there were so many people here. It was a wonderful event, and thank each one of you for making that an event as well. A highlight to come very, very, very soon. The Valencia County Fairground is nearly secured for future countywide events, establishing a dedicated and permanent location for public gatherings, cultural celebrations, educational programming, and community activities. This will serve residents for years to come and help strengthen the community identity. And just a little bit about what I do aside from our county work. I serve on multiple boards, as you know, including New Mexico Insurance Authority, the New Mexico Counties Board, and the Opioid Remediated Collaborative. And it's helped us to mainstream strong partnerships with key state agencies such as DFA, Department of Finance Administration, Property Tax Division, the Governor's Office, which helps strengthen planning and communication across all governing bodies here in the Valencia County area. And throughout the year, I met with countless residents to address concerns, gather input, and connect them with solutions to resources. People kind of thought I was nuts for putting in the paper that you could come to my office and speak to the county manager, and a lot of people took me up on that, and I got to really sit down and talk with folks about the issues that are happening to them in their neighborhoods, and get a better gauge as manager versus what I did as commissioner to see, how we can help, kind of on the microscopic level, and it's been wonderful getting to know the community better. Everybody is, sometimes they come in hot and really frustrated, and by the time they leave the office, they're feeling like they've been heard. Sometimes I tell them, that's just something we can't help you with, and just hearing them out really helps them out. And it's not necessarily a no at that time. It's a let me figure it out. Let me see how we can assist you or get you to the right resource. And man, folks have been wonderful to me this year as your manager, and I'm just so grateful for them. However, none of my success this year can be, I couldn't have done anything without the wonderful staff we have in Valencia County. As you heard, many of the directors this year during their updates say their staff is second to none, their staff is second to none. That goes for everybody in this county. Not everything has been positive. We've most definitely had our challenges within this county, and it doesn't matter what department it happens in. Employees from other departments step up to the plate, say, how can I help you? And we just work together as a team. And it's just been a wonderful thing to see the staff, the team members here at Valencia County work together to solve many of these big issues that we see happening that frustrate people, and we get a hold on it quickly, and they come up with some of the best ideas to fix it. And so I'm just super happy to work alongside them. And I look forward to building upon our momentum in this coming year with our staff and with you as the board. So, and I have this final line, but it was overshadowed now that I was happy to announce that the urinals and toilets are flushing cold water. But yeah, it's like I said, Commissioner, it's been a wonderful year, and I thank you for trusting me in serving as your manager, and I thank you to our wonderful staff and department heads and employees for just making this place run the way it is. We are most definitely an example in many areas in the state. Our detention is accredited. Our sheriff's office is accredited. I don't know if there's an accreditation yet for fire, but I guarantee you we'd be able to get that very quickly. And you know, we have come so long in my 10 years well, now it's 12 years in this organization that if you would have saw it 12 years ago to where we're at today, it's night and day. So that's most definitely thanks to y'all for your leadership and the policy that you provide. And just thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that report. Commissioners, any questions, comments?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I didn't have a chance to talk to you about this, but I know that, could you please give a report on for the taxes?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that all Valencia County residents know what's happening.
Yes, sir. So thank you. And I meant to mention that as well. As of, I believe it was Friday, the corrected numbers have been reported to have gone through the assessor's office to the treasurer, and those corrected numbers for taxes are to the printer at this time. So new tax bills are going to go out. There was a correction made, so it was a pretty significant correction. And you can expect those mailings to come out in the next couple of weeks. What the treasurer has done is extend the time period for payment acceptance. So there will be no penalties, no interest until January 31st, 2026. I forget the second half date, what date that is actually due, but it's the normal second half. Yeah, I think it's May 10th, I believe. So that will be still due at the exact same time, but no penalties and interest for this first payment until January 31st, 2026. And you know, call the treasurer's office. They'll help you out when it gets close to that time. If you haven't received your bill, which you should, just reach out to us and we'll make sure you get it. But that was one of those monumental challenges that I spoke about. We had and staff from across this county came together to really figure out and fix on every level, you know, speak with the community, get updates to the community. And then, you know, our office was on constant phone calls with the state and trying to arrange how we fix this. So I'd like to just thank everybody for that. Thank you, commissioners, for taking the heat on a lot of it. You know, it was a difficult thing to go through, and we got through it. And I think folks will be very pleased when they get their new tax bill.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners? Okay. All righty, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to our business part of the meeting. I want to thank the public for their patience sitting through this. I know it was a long beginning to our meeting this evening, but we will get through this through as we move forward. Item number 6 is a public hearing. It's an ordinance 2025 amending ordinance 2023-02 for regulating the sitting and permitting of wireless telecommunication facilities. And if anybody is going to give any testimony on this, being a public hearing, I ask that you please stand at this time so you can be sworn in.
I do.
Okay. Mr. Dean Williams, go ahead.
Thanks, sir. Again, I'm Dean Williamson. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. County Manager. I actually enjoyed listening to all the county's business. That was kind of cool. I'm going to talk to the fire department about helping me with my child seat because I can't work that thing. I stand up today, this evening before you to request approval for the amendment to the ordinance 2023-02 titled the Siting and Permitting of Wireless Telecommunication Facilities. Public notice was published on the 4th and 11th of December 2025. And to my knowledge, there have been no comments that have been received. Therefore, I request approval at this time. And I do have a quick review of the items I know are in your commission package that were in that ordinance. I think I listed 9 of the changes on there. Probably the most significant one is we're changing the approval authority for variances and new towers from the commission to the planning commission. And the full commission will remain as the appeal authority on those items. And most of the other changes were some changes to definitions, things of that nature, just updates to the law, basically, that drove those changes. I stand for questions.
Any questions of Mr. Williamson, commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
this is for our attorneys. Do you see any problems?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bazell, I've been working with Melissa and Dean, throughout the process, and I think it's needed, especially to comply with the law, as that often changes in this type of area. So,
Anything else, commissioners? Okay. Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak on this public hearing? I know nobody else is sworn in, but at this time, is there anybody that wishes to speak? No? Okay, at this time, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. We'll move on to our action items. And this is approval of an ordinance, amending ordinance 2023-02 for regulating the sitting and permitting of wireless telecommunications facilities. And Mr. Dean Williamson, you've pretty much presented it, but I don't know if you have anything else you wish to add to that.
No, sir. I just, again, recommend approval.
Very good.
Thank you.
Commissioner, excuse me, any questions? Being none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it is approved.
and Mr. Chairman, because this is actually a type of zoning ordinance, it will also be published afterwards to give public notice as well prior to effective date.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Sorry about that. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this ordinance is 2025-5.
Okay, Commissioners, at this time, I need a motion to adjourn as Board of County Commissioners and convene as indigent board, please.
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Bell, second by Commissioner Sparkman. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Ms. Garcia.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. The following is a summary of activity for the month of December. 27 claims were submitted for individuals of the public in the amount of $15,555.65, of which $6,326.05 is being submitted for consideration. No claims were submitted for individuals of the detention center. 2 appeals in the amount of $1,804. 27 total claims were submitted in the amount of $8,130.05 for consideration. The December Roadrunner Health Services Detention Center medical contract payment is $64,162. The total amount for consideration from the indigent fund is $72,292.05. The indigent fund balance sheet as of December 9th is $1,156,966.92. And with that, I recommend approval for this item.
Okay, any questions of Ms. Garcia? Be none, is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioners, I need a motion at this time to reconvene as Board of County Commissioners, please.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. We'll continue on with our action items. Number 9, approval of recognition and recording of accounts payable and payroll disbursements. Ms. Houston Great.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. This evening, I have 1 accounts payable and 2 payroll authorizations for your review. Get my notes because I can't remember all the numbers. I think is it on? I'm always
believe
afraid I'm
so.
going to be too loud.
No, you're fine.
In the month of November, we had a total of $5,566,952.73 in outgoing accounts payable. That does include the operating account, the inmate, commissary, ARPA, opioid, and hospital. To note that the hospital bills are coming in quite high now, which is causing the monthly average to raise somewhat what you're used to seeing from what you're used to seeing. Most current one last month was $2,698,375.37. I've been looking at the bills and most of them are justified as general construction now. They do break them down, but there's nothing of special type projects going on and it's in full swing. It's moving along, seems to be quite well. We did just receive our most recent one at just over $2 million as well. I don't think we foresee seeing anything less than close to $2 million to the end of the project. So it's probably going to keep the monthly payments up a little bit higher. Other than that, there's really nothing to note, and I recommend approval of these accounts payable, and I stand for questions.
Any questions on the accounts payable, Commissioners?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
How are we doing on the 50 million? Is that going to be, I mean, are we?
I should have brought it with me and I did not, I apologize. We are actually following the schedule pretty close to what they suggested they would be billing us and we would be paying out. So I have to say we're on track with that. I know we did secure some more funding and there's probably still going to be somewhat of a shortfall that we'll have to work on. But in general, what they quoted us and what the proposal was, it seems to be following along pretty well. There hasn't been too many change orders that I've noted.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, you can go ahead with your payroll disbursements, please.
The first payroll was paid out on November 14th, 2025. It didn't include any special items at all. The total of this one was $1,082,063.26. The second one was paid out on November 26th. Again, there weren't any special payments done during this time. And this one was paid out at $1,104,345.42. I do stand for questions on these as well, and I recommend for approval.
Any questions on the payroll disbursements? If there's none, is there a recommendation on the accounts payable and payroll disbursements, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve both.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, they are approved. Okay, item number 10, approval of a resolution, state bars. Ms. Houston Green.
This evening, I have state bar adjustment, budget adjustment requests for your consideration. And because they are state, they do affect cash, which requires both DFA's approval as well as your own. These aren't really anything out of the ordinary. They have some adjustments for the second quarter of the year before we go in and report to DFA. And then there have been a few grants that have come in that we are recognizing the revenue and budgeting out the expenses. There is a few of just budgeting within budgets, which we would normally call a local bar, that I went ahead and threw in because there wasn't enough of them to do separate. So they're all very straightforward, and I stand for questions on these and recommend for approval as well.
Any questions on the state bars, Commissioners? Be none, is there a recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bezell, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion to the second? You know, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bezell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
Vote yes, they are approved.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-66. No, take that back, 67.
Thank you very much for all your hard work this year, gentlemen. I'd like to say I hope you have wonderful holidays.
Thank you. Appreciate your work and your staff work also. Thank you. Okay, item 11, consideration of the FEMA subgrant agreement for Valencia County Hazard Mitigation Funding for the Valencia County Fire Department Emergency Generator. Ms. Sarah Gillen.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. How are you doing this evening?
Good evening. Thank you for being here.
I bring to you a request for approval for authorizing the county manager to sign the jurisdictional authority of the subgrant agreement DR 5430-0013-NM under CFDA 97.039 Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Post-Fire Funding in the amount of $136,630.02. The period of performance for this grant is March 2nd, 2024 through January of 25th, 2027. The initial period of performance started back in 2024 with some conversations with Rustin and Chief Prop. We moved this grant from the original monetary amount of $236,000, and instead of having 4 standalone emergency generators at I think it's El Cerro, Station 3, Tomei, Morales, and then the Fire Administration Building, we decided to go on a mobile route instead, to where there's one individual mobile generator that can be moved to any specific area, which lowered the cost of the subgrant agreement for this project. For this project, $102,472.52 will be funded through the hazard mitigation funding, and the local match will be $34,157.50 that already been earmarked on the previous subgrant agreement that was that you all approved back in May of 2024, allowing the county manager to sign the subgrant approval. So this is just a revision to that original subgrant agreement in order to justify doing a mobile emergency generator. I will stand for any questions.
Any questions, Ms. Gillen?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
So this is kind of a part of my everyday life. Is this grant just for the generator?
Yes.
Okay, so what about the upgrades to the buildings? Because when you bring in generators, you have to do upgrades to buildings to block the electricity to go back, not going back into the grid.
So this also funds the allocations to do the modifications to the fire stations for that switch.
No, that's why I was asking.
Yes, yes, it does.
So it's not just the generator. This will
Right.
also upgrade the 4 buildings for the either auto switch or manual switch
Yeah.
for when you plug in the generator.
Yes.
Okay, that's.
Commissioner.
Mr. Chair, also that matches also have been budgeted as well. So that's not coming out of new funding. It's been budgeted before previously.
Thank you. Any other questions of Ms. Gillen? Be none. Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion for approval from Commissioner Bezell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bezell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it's approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners.
They do. And normally your generator blows, everybody starts.
Okay, item 12, approval of a resolution amending resolution 2025-43 adopting the 2027-2031 infrastructure capital improvement plan. Ms. Benavides.
Mr. Chair, actually, I'm going to take that one. So as I think there was 4 commissioners present at our ICIP update with our legislators. We updated our legislators with our top 10 priorities. The last couple of years, ICIP has been due in July. And in July, our picture was a little different than it is today. So when we presented that ICIP list to our legislators, there was a few things that they pointed out and we had realized, but that's what we had adopted, needed change. So I wanted to put this back onto the agenda for us to update. I know we've already submitted those previous top 10s, but I wanted to show our legislators what our true top 10 were. We talked about the construction of a new Valencia County Administration building in District Attorney Office. It has with the plan to design and construct that. We have since made upgrades to their previous place and we have a 2-year lease on that. So that's quite a futuristic look, especially for the construction of a new county administration office. Those are in the tens of millions of dollars now. And number 2 was the rehabilitation project that's of this building, which we already have design plans for, which is a quarter or even less the cost of what a new building would be. And this building actually has really good bones, as the architect would say. So what I'd like to propose is removing item number 1, which was construction of new Valencia County Administration and District Attorney Office plan, design and construct, to item number 12. And then shuffling everything down from there with one small change from quite far down on the list. Number 22, if you look at it, it's Valencia County Public Safety Training Facility. As we know, after July, our Valencia County Fire Administration building flooded and for what we can assume is going to be totaled or definitely not habitable for that particular use anymore. And we've actually acquired new facilities for them. But I'd like to bring Chief Prop up. He's been reached out to by the governor's office on, what kind of facilities Valencia County needs. And we've also talked in the past about a public safety complex, AKA sheriff's office, new fire admin with training facilities tied to that. And we identified that particular item on here, maybe changing the title of it and bringing that up to item number 11. We know we don't want to change our top 10 because the Valencia County Sheriff's armored truck was another item that wasn't in the top 10, that with this new refab of the list brings it to item number 10. So we'd like to bring this to item number 11. We know it's not something we can, submit to the governor this year. But if it's a little bit higher up on something we propose as we go up to the session, maybe it's something she latches on to. So I'll let Chief kind of speak to that and what his recommendation for the title change would be.
Thank you, Manager. Chairman, Commissioners. So we've had some discussions with the governor's office in reference to the fire administration building, really more in a bigger picture of what we're looking to do at the county level. So one of the discussions that we've brought up and kind of continues to resonate, especially this past year, the county has never had a dedicated emergency operations center. We've kind of like made things work when we've had events. When we had the cotton fire, we saw how well that did not work. Fire admin, we had to separate our EOC into 3 different buildings because we didn't really have anything that worked well for an emergency operations center. So one of the governor's priorities this year was wildfire resilience, and in those discussions has been emergency operations centers. How do you make a wildfire response more efficient? And one of the big answers on there has been the emergency operations center. So what we said is, hey, we have a really good opportunity by losing our fire admin building to be able to create a new building that brings fire department, emergency management, sheriff's department under one roof, really solidifies our emergency operations concept by putting those public agencies into one building. And obviously we can include a training component within that complex. I know the sheriff's office has got a new training center. We have a standalone training center at one of our stations, but really the focus in those discussions has been an emergency operations center, and we just don't have anything that fills that need. So the discussion has come back a couple of times about like, okay, what would that look like? Like, what would an EOC look like? What would that public safety administration complex look like? So there's interest, at the state level in what a project like that would look like for Valencia County. When we were talking, the manager and I and Lena were talking, we're kind of looking at what did that verbiage really look like that would catch on if somebody was looking through the list. The recommendation I've got would be Valencia County Emergency Operations Center and Public Safety Complex. That kind of encompasses the full context of what we're looking to do, but it really highlights and prioritizes that EOC function that they're looking for. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to add, but that was kind of the gist of what we were looking at. I'll take any questions if you got them.
Any questions?
Sure.
Please.
What about like incorporating all of safety? So like VREC, where we pull all funding and put it into like one facility. Is that something that would be possible? Because that would go in the same thing that you're talking about. And we wouldn't have facilities everywhere. Everything would be located in one. I mean, if we're going to do that, I mean, would it be wise to maybe incorporate all aspects of the safety, and that way we're pulling all the funding into one facility?
I think, Commissioner, the context from us at the county level would be we're bringing in every public safety entity under the county umbrella. So obviously it would house fire administration, it would house sheriff, it would house emergency management. If there were other safety functions we were looking at incorporating in the building, we could certainly, look at what that looked like. Are you referring to outside entities coming in or just within the county?
Just like VREC, the 911,
So, Mr. Chair, Commissioner, VREC is, so all the entities within the county are part of a JPA with VREC, and the point of that GPA is basically to pay the building that they built specifically for it. So I don't know that they would, VREC's kind of their own deal, although we're all together in a sense. I don't know that they'd even consider that, but yeah, it would be nice if we could house everybody together. But I think they have that specific building for that reason, and that's what the JPA covers, unfortunately.
I guess that was my point. Well, everybody pays into it, so why not pay into the whole safety
Yeah.
deal and let them pay us to have the building?
Yeah.
To help pay for.
That might be a fight.
It was just,
Yeah.
if they're going to pay into it, why not?
Yeah.
Build the whole thing and let them pay part of the cost.
Yeah. It's something we can definitely look into. Our partnerships with the village, with the other municipalities is growing. I believe as the county grows, that facility will probably need to expand. So they may, rather than try to add on to it, may look for something that they can move into. It could be something we could include.
Any other questions, commissioners?
To that point, real quick, Commissioner, we could, what I like about that idea is, when we build, we can look at what phases look like. Like, hey, in the future, if VREC outgrows its space,
Yeah.
would it be better to capture them into this existing building, build out in a third phase, and then, like you said, the JPA pays that addition, and now, I don't want to say we own it because it doesn't sound great, but like we own it. So yeah, looking at like a phased approach to, what the future needs are in the county is definitely something we can look at.
I just like everybody to pay us instead of we pay everybody else. And, again, it's something that you guys might not all be on this, in the grand scheme of things, it's all one big circle, and that's still part of you guys, the medical director working with you guys, just trying to make sure that we're in a facility that works as best as possible, that we could capture more funds for.
Right. And the real funding key seems to be that emergency operations piece. And the conversations we've had, obviously there's funding for fire, there's funding for law enforcement. EOC based on priorities seems to be like the big one. I think that's going to continue. We're going to continue to see that as kind of the priority. Like, as we're seeing these big events statewide, like, where's your organizational point? Well, if you don't have one, we need to identify how to get you one. And that became pretty apparent for us this last year. We made it work like we always do. And we came out successful, but we identified, I'm sure Sarah can attest to our AAR on, what it looked like being in separate facilities because we just, didn't have the space or the correct setup for an actual large event in an EOC. So.
Any other questions, commissioners?
So, Mr. Chair, what we'll propose then is item number 1 will be VC Administration Rehab Project. Number 2, Valencia School Corridor Safety and Improvements Regional Project. 3, Sports Complex and Fairgrounds Facility in Valencia County Plan, Design, Construct, and Equipment. Number 4, Renewable Energy for County Facilities. Number 5, Highland Meadows Community Senior Center Plan, Design, Construct, and Furnish. Number 6, Public Safety and First Responders Communication Project. Number 7, Road Department Heavy Equipment Purchase. Number 8, Judicial Complex Renovation. Number 9, Las Matavillas Park Improvements / Splash Pad. Number 10, Valencia County Sheriff's Office Armored Tactical Vehicle. Number 11 would be, remind me of the verbiage, Chief?
That would be the Valencia County Emergency Operations Center and Public Safety Complex.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that covers it, right?
I think that's it. And then rounding it out, number 12 would be construction of Valencia County Administration, new construction of Valencia County Administration District Attorney Office Plan, Design and Constructs for the distant future.
Okay, questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chair, one more question.
Yes.
Do we have a property identified? Because that's going to be one of the first questions that the legislators asked. Are we still looking at behind the Metro Courthouse?
For the complex?
The complex.
We have multiple.
So we do have.
Yes, so we have property, well, obviously we have the property right next door, the dirt lot is a possibility. We have property behind the sheriff's department. I don't know if you've all been back there, but it's actually quite large. Goes almost all the way to the railroad track. So quite a large property there. And then of course also the 10 acres next to district court. So yeah, we've got some options.
So if the legislators asked, we would say that we own the property ready.
We own property for
this
something,
complex.
Yep.
Anything else, commissioners? Be none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve changes.
Second.
We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Lena, I'm sorry, was there anything you wanted to add to this? Any comments you wanted to make? Okay, I apologize for not asking you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-68.
Jonathan, would you get us an updated copy by
Yes.
the next meeting? At least
Yes,
the
sir.
top 15 or top 20?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We'll actually build talking points for this particular one to head up to Santa Fe with.
Perfect. Okay, item 13, approval of a resolution, delegation of authority for the execution of contracts and memoranda of agreement for opioid remediation collaborative expenditures and initiatives. Mr. Pato.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you. So you have before you a draft resolution that would allow Jonathan to execute and the executive director, Shauna Hartley, to execute contracts on behalf of the Opioid Remediation Collaborative once they've been approved by that board. So if you recall, this board, along with 6 other counties and now the Village of Los Lunas, has transferred its opioid remedial fund to the Opioid Remediation Collaborative to tackle projects throughout the 7-county region. Because we serve as fiscal agent, John has to execute those agreements and those contracts executed or approved by the Opioid Remediation Collaborative. But because of the limitation on this board's grant of authority to him for county purchases, that doesn't cover or that doesn't provide sufficient authority to execute contracts, that amount in $200,000 or $300,000 for the collaborative. So this resolution would authorize John to execute contracts on behalf of the Opioid Remediation Collaborative that have been approved by their board and expending only their funds, so not using this board's funds. So just to streamline that process. Otherwise, we'd have to bring each of these MOUs between the Opioid Remediation Collaborative and the various entities, like the different schools for that initiative, before this board for approval before it could be implemented. I stand for any questions of the board.
Any questions of Mr. Pato? Be none. Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve.
Have a motion for approval from Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Sparkman. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote? Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-69.
And as you all sign that, just so you know, the makeup of that board, for the most part, county managers in those 7 counties. And if you recall, Nancy Jo Gonzalez, she's also the representative for the Village of Los Lunas. So it's a very conservative board, but they're doing really good things. The only member that I believe is not a manager, no, there's a couple, but Mr. Monette's on there for Socorro County. And I think one commissioner from Guadalupe County and Cibola County. So it's a well-rounded board, and they make really good decisions on all their county's behalf.
Thank you. Okay. Finally, Ms. Adami, item 14 and 15, I'll allow you to go ahead and present individually. We'll take action on both of them at the same time. So item 14 is approval of a resolution authorizing the Village of Los Lunas to submit an application to DFA to participate in the local DWI grant and distribution program and delegation of authority. So you present that one first, and we'll go to the next one, or however you want to. I know you have a presentation, so however you want to make it work.
Oh, thank you, Commission Chair and Commissioners. My name is Jenny Adami, and I come before you in consideration of the next 2 items on your agenda, items number 14 and 15. If it pleases the board to present them together because the information, my report supports both of them, and it might save a little bit of time if it pleases the board.
That'd be perfect.
All right, fantastic. So I come before you each year to present 2 resolutions. The first one, as Chairman had mentioned, is authorizing the Village of Los Lunas to pursue the LDWI grant and distribution funds. And then the second resolution is one authorizing the Village of Los Lunas to operate a compliance program, which is a misdemeanor. We oversee the misdemeanor probation for DWIs first through third, and those pled down to first through thirds. So I will go ahead and proceed if there aren't any objections. All right, fantastic. So the DWI program, I have the pleasure of coming before you and presenting a little bit of an update of a report from year to year so that you understand and get a chance to ask questions in regards to any of the information for the operations for the DWI program. One of the things that I like to do is talk a little bit about the demographics first, about the people that we see that come through our program. We base the services that we provide through the DWI program on the demographics and the folks that come through our program, so we can best tailor services to fit the needs of the folks that do come through our program. This is for FY25. During FY25, we had 160 folks get screened to come through our program. The average age of the offenders that come through the DWI program are 35. However, we're seeing a decrease in that age to some of our younger folks here in Valencia County, which is an unfortunate trend. 73% of our clients are male, 27% are female. We have a mix of different ethnicities coming through. We have 2% African American, 1% Asian, 74% are Hispanic, 3% are Native American, 1% are Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders, and 1% is multi-race. 18% are white. And we have 17% of the people that come through our program during fiscal year 25 had less than 11 years worth of education. When we do our prevention, we focus on things like trying to partner with programs to help people stay engaged in high school, all the way through high school. We know people who graduate from high school have better outcomes in regards to their health and also staying away from the justice system. So we try to make sure that we can do what we can to try to assist in trying to keep people in school. 19%, let me see, 19% of the folks that came through our program had less than $10,000 worth of income. And then if you combine the 10,000 up to 20,000, we had 18% coming through. So we had a combined amount of around 45% that had less than $20,000 income. That's a significant thing for us to consider when we're providing services for the folks that come through our program. We try to make sure that our program is free, specifically around treatment. They do have to pay for their compliance monitoring and probation. That's a sanction that they have to pay for. Also, if they have drug testing and they show positive for a drug test that has to be sent in, they have to pay for that as well. But largely our program is free to the folks that come through, other than the sanctions that are required of them to pay out. Some of the statistics for Valencia County, we have 3.1% of the DWI arrests. And these are the most current statistics coming from DOT, coming from University of Mexico, and coming from epidemiology. But the numbers are like to 2023, which seems kind of far off from now, and clearly it is. But these are the most current numbers that I have. Alcohol-related motor vehicle traffic deaths have decreased by 5.2% between 2016 through 2020 and 2017 to 2021. The number of alcohol-related crashes in Valencia County has increased decreased by 9 crashes, which is also a good trend. Sadly, one of the trends that we don't like to see is we had in 2022, and we've seen even more of this past year, but in 2022, we saw teenage fatalities, which is what we never like to see. For a long time, we had 0 fatalities, but since 2021, we've seen 1 each year, and sadly, just this past year, we've already seen 2. So that's a trend that's moving in the wrong direction, unfortunately. In 2024, district court conviction rate was 37.5%, and this is according to the AOC, which is the Administration of Courts. And in our magistrate level, we had 54% 54.8% conviction rate. That's a combined conviction rate of 46.15%. That's something that is a concern for a DWI program and for our folks here in Valencia County. So we've been working with the district attorney's office and all the local law enforcement agencies to see if we can share up things that might have our DWIs falling through the cracks. And so a lot of it is just providing notice to the DA's office when officers aren't going to be unable to attend, and also to get some training on report writing so that they can have the reports make it to the DA's office in a way that's going to give them the best chances for conviction. And cross-training for our DAs, specifically around drug recognition experts. With cannabis legalized, we do see more DWIs coming through that are not specific to alcohol. However, the vast majority are still alcohol-related DWIs, but we do see some cannabis, but mostly the DWIs that are non-alcohol are alcohol and in a combination with another drug. Fentanyl also is one of the drugs that we're seeing people drive under the influence of, which is obviously very dangerous for our roads. In our program, I did talk a little bit about the misdemeanor compliance program. If our program did not do oversight for the misdemeanor DWIs, there would be none. Adult probation does not oversee the misdemeanor level DWIs. So that's a service that our program provides in our community that wouldn't be provided otherwise. Last in the FY 2025, we had 193 clients that were monitored under our program. Since the beginning of our program in 2012, when we implemented the misdemeanor program, we have seen 2,716 clients. Currently, we have over 224 clients in our office being seen by about 3 compliance officers. Well, not about three. One of the compliance officers actually does some admin stuff, so she only sees a smaller caseload and she oversees our Spanish speakers. So it's really mostly on the backs of 2 of our compliance officers overseeing all those folks. When we are able to reduce recidivism, which we have seen as a result of this compliance program, our recidivism rates are less than 10%, which is really, really good. Those folks then don't recidivate and go back through your jails, which is very expensive for everybody. And so we really work on our cutting recidivism. And so we also fund law enforcement operations. Oh, and to talk about accreditation, I heard a lot of great reports on accreditation here at the county, people reaching that level. Our compliance program was accredited in 2022, and we were the 5th at that time, and we are receiving our reaccreditation. Our reaccreditation approval letter is going before the board, so we haven't got the official notice, but our reaccreditation has happened once that gets signed off on. So that's something that is very prestigious for a compliance program. It's 121 accreditation standards that we have to meet in order to get that to be successful. We also have law enforcement operations. We are able to fund depending on what our budget is. And so I won't read all of the statistics. You guys have heard a lot of numbers tonight, but we had a combined total of 316 sites, and that includes arrests and different kinds of citations. And that was resulting in 13 operations. We do joint operations with the county, Belen, BOCC Farms, Los Lunas. We work with SIU as well. So we have all of our, and Isleta is typically on our task force as well. This year, our MOU is still pending with them as they're getting new leadership in place over there. It's really good to have boots on the ground and being able to fund extra law enforcement operations, because those are folks that don't get pulled off of the regular patrol to deal with things like DWI or to deal with underage drinking. We focus a lot on underage drinking, trying to get a hold of the kids before they go down even further roads that would lead them to become our adult offenders. And we do have a treatment program. We did lose our Spanish-speaking LADAC. She put in almost 36 years of treatment service within our community. So we were sad to see her retire. Now we have a hybrid program for our treatment. We have one treatment provider that's on site, that's in-house, and then we also work with Heart and Soul through a contract to provide our Spanish speakers treatment. And then probably one of our exciting things that we do is we have we work with the Youth Success Corps. We are the Youth Success Corps. We partner with TNT Boxing and Youth Mentoring Program. We try to provide services to youth in that program, things like free tutoring. And I mean, it's a boxing program, but that's kind of secondary to some of the services. We're just trying to connect kids to adult mentors, to law enforcement and fire. They come to that gym for free. And so we do see a lot of law enforcement and firefighters in that gym and connect them with our kiddos. And we just try to engage keeping those kids connected to our community, that they feel supported and wanted. And I think I can stop rambling now. If anybody has any questions for me that I might be able to answer. Minus one thing also that I'd like to mention is the funds for the DWI programs are constantly being looked at for the last 3 to 4 years at the legislative level in regards to potentially making cuts to the funds for LDWI programs, reallocating the funds or allocating the funds in a different way. So I always ask for advocating for this program in our community. I believe that it does serve a purpose, and without us, I think definitely our judicial system would notice, our law enforcement operations would decrease, treatment opportunities would decrease, and we definitely wouldn't have anybody overseeing our misdemeanor level DWIs. So please advocate for us when you get a chance, and I stand for questions.
Any questions of Ms. Adame?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
So I have a comment and a question. So the first of all is the comment. So you're talking about your kids and interns. I don't know if you know, every year Valencia County does interns. We have kids that if they want to work, they can actually come to apply and actually get paid. I think it's 20 hours a week. So, I mean, that's something that maybe your office should keep in touch with the county to maybe we can help these kids, show them a path to, actually working and making some money. That's my comment. The question that I have is 54% for DWI convictions. Is it something that the sheriff's department or police department, is it something that we can help?
It's something that's it's systemic. It's a systems issue. It's not any one department. Everybody's having right around the same types of issues in regards to having the convictions not go through. The county definitely is an active participant in our task forces, and they show up and they're ready to be part of the solution. So we've all been working together on the things that prevent convictions from happening. And so they're definitely at the table, and we really appreciate all that they do in regards to trying to help raise that conviction rate. So
is there some trainings that we might be able to maybe look at
the
to
trainings,
help fund?
Chair and Commissioner Bazell, yes, the trainings that really help our law enforcement officers are the FSTs, the field sobriety trainings, and sending people to DRE school would be really, really helpful. We're really short DREs in this community. So whenever there's a DWI that's not alcohol related or is alcohol in combination with another drug, without having a DRE, it's really hard to get those prosecuted, to get the probable cause and to get those to go forward. So that is definitely something. Engaging our new deputies in your case here at the county in just understanding and desiring to go after DWIs. It's pretty disheartening when about half of your DWIs are going to go unconvicted, and it takes hours and hours and hours to prosecute. So just really having them be instilled with the passion to go after these, remove these folks from our roadways, just to bring the safety level up. So it's just really instilling a passion. The training is the field FSTs, and the DRE would be the two trainings that would be the best for these. And it's quite a dedication to the DRE. It's quite an intensive training. It's not for everybody, for sure.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions? Okay. Okay, well, does that complete your report and your presentation? Okay, for the record, I just want to make sure that we're going to take action on item 1415. Item 15, I didn't read. It's approval of a resolution authorizing the Village of Las Tunas to operate a misdemeanor compliance program and DWI misdemeanor compliance program. So if there's no questions, Ms. Adame, I'm ready for a recommendation on both item 14 and 15.
Chair, move to approve 14 and 15.
Second.
We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, they are approved. Thank you for being with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you a year from now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank your staff for us.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this action item resolution number 14 is resolution 2025-70. And action item number 15, resolution 2025-71.
Thank you. Okay. We can move on now to item 16. This is a presentation. It's a quarterly report from the Extension Office. Ms. Sierra Kane, we're going to wake you up. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, no, of course. Sure. Okay, there we go. Let me get this other guy up here. Okay, so last time we were here, of course, was in July, and it was so nice to hear all of the good things happening. So I hope we can contribute to that and kind of end some of these maybe presentations on a good note. So the last time we were here, we had our intern, and that was Taylor. And so he kind of finished up his program. Of course, we had Emma as well for half the summer, and she ended up finishing her other internship at the Los Lunas Ag Science Center. And so we finished up Taylor in August. So he had the first week of August, and then he finished up with us and went back to NMSU. But before he left, him and I were able to participate in a nuclear blast emergency preparedness workshop. And so that was a very interesting and intense experience. And so it was an a scene of if a nuclear blast were to happen, a nuclear radiation would be in plume form and would, permeate into the city. And so Extension, of course, was at the table. They chose me to be that representation for agriculture. And so we were going through what that would look like if we had radiation into our meats, into our egg production, and into hay and feed. And so that was very intense. I got to work with all these individuals here in that emergency situation. And it was very serious. And I believe that training, it doesn't always come here all the time. So we had that and were able to represent Extension, and I was able to bring Taylor along with me. Taylor finished off with providing an ag finance workshop. And so that was for the community and for our youth. And so that covered a lot of topics on income and expenses, commodity losses, and loan and support programs that are provided to our farmers and ranchers. And once he finished that, then we concluded his internship for the summer. So our office then, of course, it went right into county fair. And so for county fair, we had about 460 entries. That was what my fair board president is telling me. She just texted to me. And about $500,000 went in through the sale. And so we had 82 sell slots there as well. And so we were very pleased. The sale was awesome. Our kids did great. We did add a few sell slots compared to last year. And so we were very pleased with how all of that went. It was a fantastic fair. We, of course, also had our 4-H cake contest that we continued to revive this year, which was served at the dinner. And that went over $2,000 that goes back into the child who participates in that program into their indoor exhibits. We then, of course, moved on to New Mexico State Fair and Southern New Mexico State Fair, and we had kids participate on that level. They did fantastic. Of course, we have kids who win the top showman. We have several kids who make sell, and on that level, it's a really big deal. And so we concluded our fair season definitely on a high note. I was able to attend the National 4-H Agents Conference, and that was in Atlanta, Georgia. And so for that, we got accepted to propose our small animal livestock school that we host here in New Mexico. And so the Sandoval agent and I went up there, and we were able to showcase the livestock schools that we put on for youth here in New Mexico on a national level, which was really exciting. And so we got a lot of really great interest for that to not only showcase the projects and schools that we're putting on here in New Mexico through the 4-H program, but also to teach other states how to put them on. And so that was very successful, and we were very pleased to be able to do that on the national level. And it is competitive, so we had to put in and win. And so we were very pleased that we were able to do that. On the adult agricultural side, I helped host the Chili Variety Day at the Los Lunas Ag Science Center. So that was a day for chili producers and of course those interested in growing chilies to come out and learn about different varieties, ways of harvesting and testing being done at on the chili varieties at the farm. And it was complete, of course, with variety tasting, which was we were all very excited about at the end. Our master gardeners, of course, had a booth there. So there was the mechanical chili harvester that was there, and we focused a lot on the different varieties for that and what the mechanical harvest for chili looks like, that it is here, it is real, how much it costs, and kind of what that looks like. And so that was a very unique kind of focus for that. We were also invited to join the Pueblo of Isleta to do a tabling session for agricultural work and offerings that the Extension Office can provide to producers. And so we were very pleased to be able to do that. Crystal and I hosted a salsa gardens class, and that was we called it From Seed to Sill. And so we really focused on now going into urban producers and how to do salsa gardens. And then in fall, talking about garlic production. And then Crystal will talk about a little bit of her preservation side. I hosted a class to Rio Grande Elementary, and this class is a harvest class, and so it focuses a lot on ag literacy, variety differences, and variety selection education to young elementary students. And then also what we did in the second series is we brought them out to the Los Lunas Ag Science Center, and we got them in the field working in that space and seeing what that looks like. So I harvest a bunch of commodities. I talk about a bunch of different varieties, what that looks like, and then the kids got to go out to the farm and actually see those. So that was really exciting. It was something new that we did this year, and we hope to continue to maybe expand to some other schools and grow on that. So we covered demonstrations with our specialists on pollinators, tomato and chili production, apple harvesting, and then milk goat production. I also, of course, do presentations for the cowbells this fall and extension efforts, and we actually met with the New Mexico Agri-Ability Group, and so we're hoping maybe we can have some collaborations with them in the future. I also do, of course, a pumpkin harvest program that we use in many of the schools that one's designed for kindergartners and first graders. And so we bring that into the schools for agricultural literacy. And then for Annie's project, I had talked about Annie's project at the beginning of this year, which is a women's-based agriculture financial literacy. And so Crystal and I last month were able to get trained to be facilitators, which is extremely exciting for our county because now we'll be able to host our own classes. So I kind of had to partner with a facilitator because it's new to our state. There's only like 2 in New Mexico. And so now Crystal and I are in addition to those 2, and we're hoping that we'll be able to provide some more focused programming. It's not just for women, it's for, of course, anybody, but it is a women-focused agricultural literacy group that provides, really good agricultural education. And so I'm very excited for what that will look like because we are officially facilitators for that. And I, a couple weeks ago, hosted the Forage Growers Workshop for the first time since 2019. So I partnered with Western SARE to provide a free event for our forage producers. This also, of course, gave CEUs for pesticide applicators and covered topics on weed management, utilizing drones for spraying, gopher and prairie dog control, forage varieties specific to Valencia County and perennial grasses, and then sprayer calibration laws and regulations. And so that was a full day of instruction. They get those CEUs at the end. Partnering with that group and organization gave access to the grant so that we didn't have to charge. And so we're really excited. That's a program that anytime someone calls the extension office, they're like, are you guys having this program? And so I was really pleased to be able to provide that again and hopefully continue to give some really good education for our forage producers and grow that program in the future. In total, this fall, so in the last couple months, we had 21 confirmed diagnostic calls. And by confirmed, I mean like we received something and something came back from it. And so a lot of it was tree blight. So we kind of saw a weird weather pattern come in where we were warm and we were kind of wet. There was a lot of tree blight that came in. I had some tree funguses. I had some nematode soil conformations, which is not good if you know anything about that. But we did some of those and then expanded our reach to see how far it had gone. And then this year we're kind of going to dive in a little bit more on what that looks like for them. Of course, forage recommendations is always top on there. We had some livestock grazing rotation information, so we're working on with some of the producers on that. Always insect and weed identification, and then we finished some hay and soil samples towards the end to get producers ready for the next season. And with our Master Gardener program, so we officially graduated 2 new interns from this last year who will now be certified Master Gardeners. And over there, our volunteers in the Master Gardener program provided about 500 hours of community service and educational education to our community. Our seed library is officially open. That was some of their volunteer hours. So we do have free seeds at the library. I kind of touched on that before, but now it's like organized and kind of a little more ready to go and streamlined. And we also had an open house last month to recruit more Master Gardeners. And so right now we're actually receiving a really good amount of applications to get more community service in there. And our Master Gardener program, their goal is to help urban calls and help with, questions from backyard gardeners. And their goal is to provide that and to provide water resources. And so that we don't have, we should be utilizing our resources appropriately and providing variety selection. So they kind of can handle some of that urban portion of it. Of course, we are accepting new applications. So if you know anybody who wants to be a Master Gardener, send them my way. And to kind of wrap up this report, I attended a conference. It's called WELD. So it's the Western Extension Leadership Development Program. And so it's a 2-year program, and it's for leadership. It's a leadership skills development program for extension professionals. And so the first session was held in Tucson, Arizona, 2 months ago, I think. It's all kind of blurring together now. And so what happens there is we went through several days of instruction for leadership and extension and identifying projects and how to further integrate into your community. And then next year, we'll provide a presentation in San Diego to that group. And so that's a competitive program. You have to be nominated and then be selected. So I'm really happy to be representing Valencia County on that level in the Western region to hopefully provide some leadership opportunity there. And today we have some items. Crystal's going to talk a little bit more about it. She has some of her preservation courses and classes that she offers. And so these are going to be from the demonstrations from those courses where she uses to teach individuals. So she kept them and we're going to share them with you later after her program. But any questions for me?
Any questions, Ms. Kane? Goodness sakes.
Full. Okay, I'm gonna let Crystal go.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that report. You guys are always so busy. You're such an asset to the county, and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you very, very much.
We appreciate your guys' support for sure.
So I'm going to continue on. I got to assist teaching food preservation classes in Bernalillo County to not only our state family consumer science agents, but also Arizona State. They came down to learn from us, and we provided excellent opportunity to showcase what we're doing here in Valencia County, but across the state. Our county fair, I focused heavily on indoor projects with a total of 611 indoor exhibits received this year, which was up by 15% from last year. And they range from posters to baked goods. And you heard a little bit about our baked good competition or cake competition. And then my Cloverbud corner, which are my kindergartners through 3rd grade, that are our youngest of our youth, they experienced a growth with 8 Cloverbuds submitting projects for a total of 99 projects. They get to turn in anything they would like. So it was kind of neat to see that. And we observed exceptional creativity, and everybody was ready to grow and continue to participate in that project. A total of 49% of those projects went on to state fair, and I wanted to extend an appreciation to not only our administrative assistant, Brenda, but also to Sierra and this staff, because as I was dealing with some personal issues, they had a week to turn over from our county fair to state, and they did an exceptional job helping me out during that time. We did see one of our members, 4-H members, Anne Marie. She earned the best in division at state fair in personal growth and development for that category. And this is the second consecutive year we brought home that title from state fair to Valencia County. And then we saw several projects that advanced to Southern New Mexico State Fair, where members placed top in the categories and came home with premium awards. We also had a team of novice 4-H members who represented Valencia County at Southern New Mexico State Fair at a food challenge similar to the chop show you guys see on TV, and they won first place with very limited practice and everything, and getting down there. On September 10th, I hosted a Mediterranean-inspired protein bowl class. We had only 6 participants this year, but they came out strong and they learned the benefits of a Mediterranean diet, what it does for our health, how it helps with our diabetes, and we continued that series that I started with Kitchen Creation, which is a statewide program, and talking about our health benefits and using certain ingredients in our diets. On September 30th, as you heard, Sierra and I hosted that salsa garden that I was able to take down also to Socorro County, where we talked about what it is to prepare our soils, then seed, harvest, and finally preserve them, and how we get them to our table. And we talked about the timelines of doing each of those and how to correctly scientifically preserve anything that will be shelf stable. Then Sierra and I hosted a fall sourdough class again, which we didn't have extra starter this time, so we weren't sending out emails asking people to take them, but we covered that scientific of what is a healthy starter, how to make bread, and everything, the baking techniques. And so everybody got to go home with those techniques and everything. I also got to participate in community health care fairs with Extension Association of New Mexico here in Valencia County. And then I was asked later in that same week to go to the Rio Communities Health Fair and talk about financial literacy, because they include items that are not only for health, but also, which I believe finances is always part of our health, our mental health, but they also include topics for our aging adults. I got to attend the National Extension Association of Family Consumer Science in Michigan, where I received a Western Division Team Award with participants from around the state for my green chili preservation Zoom series. That was not only a statewide presentation, but a national presentation. We had people from California to Florida participating in that. At that time, I was appointed as the Western Division representative for the Financial Advisory Board, and then we found out this month that I was elected as president-elect for the New Mexico affiliate of our extension office. And then I was also recognized as the 2025 National Family Consumer Science Agent Mentee. I attended the Extension Association state meeting in Tucumcari, where Valencia showed up strong. And next year we get to host that meeting here in Valencia County in October. On October 28th, I hosted a Tying Traditions Ristra making class. This class started as part of our red chili preservation class, which was an extension of that red chili Zoom class. So we're hoping we get another award that comes down here. It started as one class. I ended up having to break it into 2 classes with the help of the Ag Science Center, Sierra and Brenda assisting me to get that, because we had 25 participants sign up within a week and 25 on the list. So I had to break it into several different classes, and everybody got to learn about varieties of chilies and then preservation methods of those red chilies. And then they created a ristra and took it home for uses at home. In November, I got to complete that Annie's program with Annie's project program training as a facilitator with Sierra, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we grow that in the future. We delivered, Sierra and I, an adult at the New Mexico State 4-H adult retreat, where our volunteers from around the state come and learn a little bit. We got to highlight Valencia County leadership team, what we do here in our civic engagement roles and efforts. The session generated a lot of strong engagement amongst other volunteers, and they asked for feedback from us, how did they improve? And there was a lot of inquiries of what we do with our leadership team. We hosted a sauerkraut class where 14 members got to learn from master food preservers about how to make sauerkraut at home, and our office smelled like vinegar, but we dealt with it as it came. Over the past several weeks, I've hosted multiple holiday workshops for the community, including Winter Extravaganza, where we had 22 participants, a free Making Memories ornament class where it was featured in the news bulletin this past week, a gifting with infusion, and again, my office smelled good, and we're going to kind of talk about that, and then spreading cheers with holiday jam. These workshops introduced a new program series that I'll be introducing next year, and then it also allowed me to demonstrate some homemade items that can be made for cheap at home. So in the bags that you're about to receive, again, those were our demonstrations, and they were hands-on. You're going to find an oil with red chili and garlic, and that kind of emphasizes our salsa garden classes that we had, and our community members made that for you. And then there's a red chili salt in there, and that's really good on chicken, I promise you. And that was also made by our community members, and it is highlighting that red chili series that I did. And then I made you guys the coveted black garlic salt, and it's good on any kind of food, but it's very coveted in our office, and our office now smells like garlic, but it's okay. I was also selected through a competitive application process to participate in the 2026 Military Partnership Training Camp for 4-H. This program focuses on increasing community awareness and expanding scholarship opportunities for our 4-H that have family members in the military or our veterans, and I'm really passionate about it, being a veteran myself and a fifth generation service member. So I'm excited to bring that and bring opportunities of investment of monies to our 4-H members so they can go to programs outside of the state and within our state. And concluding this year, our 4-H County Council it distributed 10 Thanksgiving baskets across the community. And then we just finished delivering several Christmas baskets, thanks to and contributed to a local food pantry. And this was thanks to the efforts not only of our county council, but our 4-H clubs, their leaders, their members, Mountain State Constructors, ICANN, and of course our extension staff. And then finally, ICANN is going strong in New Mexico, but even stronger in Valencia County. I don't know if you guys have heard, but unfortunately, ICANN is no longer across this nation, but New Mexico State University has saved our ICANN program for New Mexico through June of 2026, and Valencia County is one of those counties that still has an ICANN educator, and it's going strong. So I'm going to pass that on, and I'll oh yeah, any questions? I'm sorry.
Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Dunn, but thank you so much for your service, and thank you for your contribution to the program. It's again quite a success in Valencia County, so thank you. And thank you for the goodie bags.
Yes. So Crystal's going to pass out some of these, and then just one last thing. Tomorrow is our awards banquet at 6:30 at the Horseshoe. So of course, an invitation. You don't have to come, but you're all welcome there. We will have our end of the year awards banquets, all of our ceremonies, awards, installation of new officers, FCS ambassadors, and all that. So 6:30 at the Horseshoe. Y'all are welcome to come. Let's will whoopee. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, commissioners, we're at the point of our agenda that calls for an executive session. Mr. Nance, would you please announce that?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to section 10:15(1, the following matters may be discussed in closed session. Personnel 10:15(1)(h)(2), fire chief contract, warden contract, county manager contract. Under property 10:15(1)(h)(8), Valencia County Hospital lease/operating agreement.
Thank you. I need a motion to go into executive session for the stated reasons, please.
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazali, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. We will report out shortly.
All right, we're good. Nothing, there's nothing.
Want to make sure. Thank you. Okay, commissioners, at this time I need a motion to reconvene in regular session, please.
So moved.
A motion from Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion of the second? You know, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Mr. Nance, would you summarize the items discussed in closed session, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the items discussed in closed session were limited to those in the motion for closure, specifically fire chief, the warden, and the county manager, as well as the Valencia County Hospital lease agreement. No final action was taken.
Motion to that effect, please.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And with our action items, item 17, consideration of warden employment agreement. Recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to grant the manager authority to exercise a contract or negotiate a contract.
Second.
Got a
It's
motion?
negotiate and execute, correct?
Yes.
Negotiate. Okay. All righty. You got a motion from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Mr. Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, item 18, consideration of county manager employment agreement. Is there a recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to execute the contract as discussed during executive session.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? None. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item number 19, delegation of authority for delegation of authority for the county manager to negotiate and execute the Valencia County Hospital lease operating agreement. Is there a recommendation?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to delegate the authority to the county manager to negotiate and execute the hospital lease agreement.
Second.
A motion from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Seeing none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. We got a couple or an upcoming meeting. January 7th, 2026, we will be having our reorganizational meeting, followed by a business meeting at 5 p.m. here in the chambers, and that'll also be via Facebook Live. And that's the only upcoming meeting that we have at this time. Before we adjourn, I'd just like to, being that we don't have anybody here, but I'd like to wish everybody a merry, very merry and blessed Christmas and a happy New Year. Everybody remain safe and look forward to seeing all of you guys in the upcoming new year. Are there any closing comments by fellow commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
Manager, isn't the county closing early for a county?
Yeah, so our holiday schedule this year is going to be, we'll be closing Tuesday. Gosh, what is the?
23rd.
Tuesday, the 23rd at noon. We'll be doing something for the county employees. It's gonna be like a county employee training / their own day type of thing. And then we'll be closed the rest of the week for Christmas. We'll be back open Monday. Gosh, the dates are blowing my mind right now. It's too late, but we'll be open the following Monday, 29th.
Very good. Any other closing comments? If not, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.